What's the cloud? Well, the cloud offers a lot of services, for example, storage. You can store your photos, your files, for example, Google Drive or OneDrive. You can access to a computer power, having access to a much bigger the computer than the one you are using. You can have access to services, for example, a database service that is built on top of those capabilities of storage, computing, and networking of the cloud. And you can ask directly to execute a program or a container that you have created. There are basically two types of clouds, the public cloud and the private cloud. The public cloud is accessible for anyone. Big companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and some others have placed data centers all across the world. And in those data centers, they have built these clouds with the hardware, the connectivity, the storage. They have placed everything, and they are offering those services I just mentioned. If you want to start deploying your application or offering your application to the public, you just pay for what you're using. So it's a very convenient model and you can grow as much as you want. The private cloud will be just the opposite. If we say that the public cloud will be like a public bus, the private cloud will be like your car. Okay, it's completely yours. It's smaller, but you can do with it whatever you want, and no one else can access to it. So you have to get your data center, you have to purchase in advance all the hardware, you have to assemble it, you have to maintain it. But the good thing is that you have full control of it. No one can access to it either remotely or physically accessing to the hardware. It's in your data center. The thing is that both models are convenient for different needs, but there is a third kind of cloud that could be actually the combination of these two. This is the hybrid cloud. If we have a public cloud and a private cloud connected among them, we have a hybrid cloud. Imagine that in our private cloud, we have to assume a peak of work, and the dimensioning is not the correct one to assume it. What we can do is we have this hybrid cloud model is to send part of the workload towards the public cloud. So we can expand, and when the peak finishes, we go back to our private cloud. So we can dynamically grow as much as we want, but starting from the capabilities of the private cloud. Another example of when this hybrid model is very useful is that we want to deploy something exploring locality. We want to deploy in a data center that is close to the final user. For example, it's in the United States, and all our data centers are here in Europe. The thing is that we could use a data center from the public cloud. So we expand our network to reach that data center that is in the United States, and we used it just for that workload. So it's a mix of the private and the public clouds. The last thing I'd like to comment is that it's not the cloud. We have multiple clouds. It's a multi-cloud world, and many of these clouds may be interconnected. We may have this hybrid cloud model, and we need to know that when we deploy a workload, we may need to move that workload or to expand that workloads towards other clouds. So we need to know what we are doing. We need to know which policies we are applying to the different clouds, and it gets a little bit more complex than just considering that we will have one cloud. I hope you enjoyed the talk. As always, please contact me if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching.